Let's see here. 4, 5. Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and I thought I'd just do a quick live stream just to chat for a few minutes. Didn't have a lot going on this evening. I've got about 30 minutes to engage with you and enjoy a little bit of good one-on-one time. So let's get right down to it. I've been wondering here lately, ever since my video about this setup came out a couple, 3 weeks ago, how much fun it would be to actually do street photography with one of these. This is a D810. I've got the battery grip on it too, but it's got the 50mm f1.4 AFD lens on it. But yeah, wouldn't that be cool? This would be a great little video rig, or street photography rig. I mean, I shot with it that day and it worked fine. Cuban Rum, how you doing this evening? Nice to see you here. Yeah, I was sitting here looking at this thing thinking, man, it looks silly with that giant camera body. Of course, I could take the grip off and make it a lot more manageable, but then the little hand thing don't fit right because I've got it adjusted to where that rides on your hand real comfortably. It actually can be tightened up just a little bit, but you know, that's really handy. And you can reach the controls properly with this thing. You know, like you turn it on, the shutter button's right there. It's all conveniently located. There's a depth of field preview and there's function buttons in there. There's your preview button. Areeb, how you doing? Thank you for checking in. And then this is a function. I don't even know what it's set for. I'm hitting it and it's doing stuff, I'm sure. Bass Angler, how you doing? I got about a half hour, guys, so I thought I'd just log in, chat with you guys for a few minutes, maybe 20 minutes, I don't know, something like that. But thought I'd just do a little quickie live stream and chat with you guys some. I'm sitting here making some notes and talking about stuff. I was like, it was just occurring to me. I'm a real big nut when it comes to like really nice pens. I've got a couple of these. I bought them from a local artisan in Chattanooga. He had a little booth set up. I don't remember, he told me what kind of fancy wood this is, but he machines the bodies and then he buys all the hardware, and they've got really nice cartridge inserts in them. I've replaced this one twice. I've worn it out. It's a great little pen. But like, I have these little notebooks and I write in them, and it's nice to have these nice pens. And I like a larger bodied pen because my hand's big, so it just works out. Phil made it to Wanderlinger. He said he was going to make it over there. Cool. So you're viewing from remote. Oh, that's weird. The camera is over here, but yet if I point to the center of the screen, no, you got to point at the camera. Okay. It was messing with me. I was pointing off camera by pointing at whatever. But yeah, I've always enjoyed these high-end kind of pens. I got, like I said, this one has a magnetic cap. You literally, check this out. Hey Adrian, how you doing? Watch this. It sticks to the pen. There's like a ring magnet in here, so when you seat it, and it don't fall off. It works really well. The other one actually has a spring magnet that latches on, and I kind of like the body on it better. It stays in the office. They're two different style pens, but I've always liked these nice pens, and I would get one and I'd lose it. I'm bad to lose them too. So I've been very diligent about these because I paid a good bit of money for these pens. These weren't cheap, and like I said, I've been more diligent about keeping up with them. I dropped this one once, damaged the cartridge, and that's when I bought spares. Because it's got this ceramic ball on it, so it writes real smooth. And if you drop it and it lands on that point, it don't write so smooth anymore. Let's see, someone checked in, let me see. Jimmy Rooney caught the stream. Yes, I'm glad you caught it too. Hi from my kitchen. I was too wiped from yard work to meet up with Phil. Whoo, dude, I saw the video of the pressure washing. Carmen's in Manhattan. How you doing? You need to get your camera out and go shoot some street photos, Carmen. Is there anybody out yet? But yeah, and another thing, is when I'm around the property, I tend to like to carry knives. What's the topic today? It's just general stuff like high quality pens to write with. I don't really journal, but I make lots of notes. I got these little notebooks I write in, and I make notes about my videos that I'm bringing up. Like you're going to see in the coming weeks, this lens is going to make a debut again, and it's going to be on a different camera, and I'm going to be testing things other than what the photos look like just straight up coming out of it. Plus I'm going to shoot it on full frame this time, and that'll be the correct like field of view that this lens was intended. Plus that'll give us the image circle will go out to the edges, and we'll be able to tell a little better how good this lens actually is. But this is a Pentax Asahi Optical SMC Pentax M, but it's actually a K mount lens. Pretty sweet. It's I got it currently mounted to an XT3, but that's the Pentax K mount. And I've got an adapter to fit this and my Leica, because I've put it on my CL before and shot with it. It's a little front heavy on the CL because this is all metal lens with lots of glass in it, so it's kind of heavy on that little tiny crop center camera. I have been working on my YouTube channel, but it's been oh, come on, Jimmy. You just got to stay after it. That's how it works. Just time in service. I mean, this July I will be 4 years in. 4 years I've been doing this. So it kind of becomes, you guys are kind of like my second family. You know, there's certain individuals, and a bunch of you guys are in this stream, that I chat with on a regular basis through one medium or another. I chat with ADRIAN some. Most of the time me and him chat through Instagram Messenger. Of course, Bass Angler and Phil and Ray regularly. And then the rest of you guys, I chat in the comments with you. We have conversations at times in the comments. But yeah, it's kind of like I know you without ever having met you. And that's really cool. The community about it is what's really the best part to me. I really enjoy the community. But yeah, this guy's coming up soon, and I was making notes about this one. That's what this is all about. That's why I had the pen out, and I thought, man, I need to show off my pen. But like today, I'm carrying a small knife around with me. This is a White River Fieldcraft 7 custom shop bush knife. This is literally, it's a special edition. It's one of one. And the reason it's one of one is because his Fieldcraft knives were normally 6-inch blades, and he had a blank. Once he cut up all the blanks that day, he said this bar had a piece of material on it long enough to make a 7-inch blade. And he said he kicked the idea around with his buddies in the shop a while, and they finally decided, let's just cut it into a 7-inch Fieldcraft knife and see what it looks like. And I'm the one person that ended up with it. This thing is massive. Look how thick the spine on that knife is. It's enormous. But I think it's a full 1/4 inch, maybe a little thicker on the spine. It's heavy. But man, when you're walking around the property, man, this thing is magical. Okay, and a lot of people don't know what the little divot in the handle's for. That is for a fire bow. It's a survival knife. So that what you'll do is, a lot of times you'll put like grease or cooking oil or, you know, whatever, animal fat. You don't have to lubricate it, but maybe a little water in there to wet the end of the stick so it doesn't build as much friction. But then you can run a fire bow and a fire drill against this, and it can allow you to put downward pressure. But that's why you see those in knife handles and why the little divots cut into them. He's actually added a aluminum insert to this one to try and like maybe protect it a little better. It's got micarta handles. That might be G10. I don't know for sure. It had a leather strap in it, and I lost it. It fell out at some point. But yeah, this guy's up in Michigan. This is where this cat's from. But he comes to a gun show in the United States called Knob Creek every year, and he brings a bunch of knives. And this is one of the ones. This is where I actually bought that knife. Let's see. There's some chatting going on. The community is the best part of YouTube. You're right, Cuban Rum. It is. Jimmy Rennie says, I liked Phil's switch to Canon. Okay. I'm going to throw this out there. Phil's in the comments, so he might have a little more to add. But Phil ain't fully switched. He likes his Canon camera. There's no doubt about that. But he also likes his Nikon cameras. He kept his mirrorless gear, and so I don't know if he's fully involved or fully invested in Canon, and he's going to go all the way in, or if he's going to hang on to his Z6, you know, and such as that. I put it in quote marks. Cuban Rum says, how heavy is that knife? It's heavier than that lens, and that lens is heavy. I would say it's every bit of a pound and a half. Every bit of it. It's massive. That's all. What kind of steel? It used to say. Yeah, it's in the logo, but I can't read it. I want to say it's S30V or some kind of expensive steel. Yeah, it's a monster. Let's see. He is in the honeymoon stage with this Canon. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm in the honeymoon stage with a Leica SL2, so I gotta, you know, that's why I don't normally review my cameras until I've had them for several months. And you'll see my camera reviews will typically come out several months later, because then it gives you time for the honeymoon to wear off, as well as time to actually use the equipment some and find its actual shortcomings. Robbie Baxter, how you doing? Thank you for logging in. And it just gives you some perspective, you know, and Cuban Rum said it best, that honeymoon phase. But that's why you don't see me reviewing cameras right after I get them. I want to have them a little while first, because I did it a few times. I did, you know, initial impressions kind of stuff. And your initial impressions are always going to be good. They just are, because it's a brand new piece of kit. Kyle, how you doing, Kyle? Thank you for stopping in. And you just, you know, you're happy and you're elated because you've got to purchase something, and it's a big ticket item usually. Cameras aren't normally cheap. So, you know, you've got a bunch of euphoria from that purchase, you know. Carmen says, sharp lenses, sharp knives, what's next? Sharp pens. Might get a paper cut. How you doing tonight, Hassan? Thank you for stopping in. Hello. Yeah, but yeah, this is another hobby of mine, you might say. I'm a big knife junkie. I've got a bunch of them in there. But now, as far as carrying pocket knives, once I settle on a brand or a style, I'll normally carry a pocket knife for a long time. Adrian says, I've been using a lot of my iPhone to do photos. Oh, he's got something good to say. I find it pretty useful, and the quality is enough. Yes, that's a good point. Especially, honestly, there's some guys that shoot street photography with their iPhone. And if you're not printing more than about 8x10, an iPhone image out of anything above maybe iPhone 8 and up is a wonderful image. I was blown away at how good the camera in Sierra's iPhone 12 Max Pro, whatever, it's like an iPad nearly, but that thing took photos that are mind-bogglingly good. I don't understand. They've got the software in that thing figured out. To use a sensor that small to get photos that good took some serious engineering, software engineering, because the photos are stunning out of that phone. Might be camera monogamous. Let's see, I have to make sure I didn't miss something. I'm in the antique stage, Jimmy Rooney said. Canon T5i, which is a great machine. There's nothing wrong with the Canon. The Canon Rebels, and the T5s, T4, T3s, T8s, T7, whatever, all them Ts are great little cameras. What's beautiful about them Rebels is they're light. They're not very heavy machines. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I don't think I've missed anybody's comments. I'm just reading the comments and catching up with you guys. Jimmy Wren says, I got to get up and shoot some in Chattanooga. I am down in Birmingham. Woo, that's only about, that's a good hour and 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours from Chattanooga. It's about an hour and a half to Birmingham from here. And we're about 20 minutes out of Chattanooga once you hit the interstate. Kyle Wist says, why be camera monogamous? I'm not. Dude, I've got 3 or 4 brands. If you count my Minolta film camera, at least 4. 5 if you count the Kodak Brownie. Yeah, I'm all about some cameras. As long as there's enough light, yes. Hassan's in Enterprise. Wow, dude, you guys are neighbors. That's pretty cool. But like this knife is it's a Benchmade. I don't remember the model number. Kyle says he uses different camera systems because different cameras and lenses have different characteristics, and he likes that. And that's true. Different cameras have different looks. They do, and people recognize it. They notice that, and it's kind of neat that cameras do have that kind of quality about them. Like you can see the Nikon colors and the Canon colors. You can see that they're different. And Leica has its own kind of color science, and it's unique to Leica. People recognize Leica colors for some reason. I think it's a lot has to do with the reds in Leica. Fujifilm, like the XT3, had this stigma about it, had a weird kind of green cast to it. But I found that if you're to me, it looks like it has to do more with the color profiles if you're shooting JPEGs out of the camera, because there's certain profiles that don't have that quality at all, but some of them do, some of them don't. But yeah, like Adrian said, Fujifilm simulations are just gorgeous. Yeah, and they've got, dude, there's people that's cooked up recipes that simulate like virtually every kind of film. Jimmy says, what other social are you on most to chat? Honestly, I have an Instagram account on my phone, and I'll respond to DM pretty regular on it. I do have a Facebook Messenger app on my phone, so if you want to talk to me on Facebook Messenger, you know, even on the web browser, Facebook website, there's a Messenger chat thing. You can find me there and chat. But wow, you can't hear me? Is my audio cutting out? But yeah, that's the whole. I lost my train of thought. Okay, my audio's good. Thank you, Cuban. That broke my OODA loop. Now I don't know what I was saying. Oh, crap. Sorry about that. But yeah, I don't have the Facebook app on my phone anymore. So but yeah, I use Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM. You can email me at georgiaphotographer@gmail.com. There's that. You know, you can reach me through my website. And on here, you know, the comments, I normally try to read all the comments. I'm still at that stage on my channel where I can still kind of manage that, and I might miss one every once in a while, but I can pretty well keep up with all the comments still. They haven't gotten away yet. There's a point when the comments get away from you and you just can't read them all physically, but currently I still have that ability. Now, it's a lot's been going on. Man, y'all been blowing up this comments. Yes, I am part of the L-Mount Alliance. I have 2 L-Mount cameras. And that was one of the reasons I picked the SL2 over another camera or two, is because I already had that mount on the CL. It was the same mount on that little TL that I sold, which was kind of interesting that little tiny point and shoot had the same mount as that great big beast of an SL2. That was kind of an interesting point that I noticed. But I like that. I like the universalness, whatever that word would be, since I do have 2 brands of cameras in my arsenal. I have mainly Nikon and Leica at this point. The Fuji XT3 is an anomaly, honestly. I haven't really shot with it much since I got the CL because I like shooting with the CL. I just enjoy that little camera. It's just, I wish it had a better battery, just to tell you the truth. The battery in the CL's trash, but the camera's a lot of fun to use. But I haven't shot with the XT3 much. I probably need to get it sold and get it into somebody's hands that will actually use it, because I'm not using it. I've sold everything except the kit lens. I mean, I've got a mountain of adapters that fit it, but wow, you guys are killing it with this comments. I traded my 750 and a bunch of glass and a few odds and ends for a bunch of glass, I think. Currently have the 24 to 135. That's a good lens, dude. Going between 24 and 50 millimeters is next. I'm gonna say, dude, I'm all about some 50 millimeter prime life. Good lens. It works that you can shoot almost everything with 50 mil. Almost everything. And the only thing that 50 mil doesn't give you is the compression that the long lenses have or the distortion that the wide ones have. And most people don't want the distortion. And if you really need that compression, you can just get you a 200 millimeter f4, you know, or something like that. But yeah. Adrian, the D200 is a fine camera. I've had two of them in recent memory, and both of them produced very good photos. One of them had an issue, and I don't remember what it was. Most of them you'll find on the secondhand market. Well, they're all on the secondhand market because they're all super old. But most of them you're going to find have a dead hot shoe. The hot shoe goes bad on, or the flash. The pop-up flash dies. That's what it is. The hot shoe still works, but the pop-up flash quits on them. For whatever reason, they don't have longevity. But the rest of the camera works fine. If you get one with a battery grip, typically the battery grips go bad. I've noticed that. I bought two off eBay. They both come with battery grips, and both battery grips were bad. You take the battery grip off of the camera, and the camera suddenly worked perfectly. But when you plugged in the battery grips, the shutter wouldn't release, and all sorts of things would crop up. So I culled battery grips every time. I bought two of them, and they're not expensive cameras. I think they have a 10 megapixel sensor, and the pictures looked wonderful coming out of it. I gave one to my nephew. The one, he's appeared on the channel a time or two. We've shot photography a couple of times. I gave one to him, and Jeremy loves it. It's a great little camera. But yeah, just cull the battery grips and expect to not use the pop-up flash. Do those two things, you'll be set. Interesting. Yeah, well, when you get wide, as long as the subject, like right now, the iPhone is shooting a fairly wide angle lens, because you can see how big my hand is compared to my head. You know, but in the center of the frame, I can get out to the sides pretty good and it doesn't distort. But if you're with a wide angle, you know, if you punch in close, then it starts bending the ears. They bend out away from the body, and it looks odd, and the nose grows in width. So, you know, you can get good photos with wide angle, but it takes a skill that a lot of people don't have that skill. If you're getting good photos, you're one of the special ones that has the skill. Yeah, Phil makes a good point. If y'all haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate you bringing that up. It's like $70. Robbie Baxter says if he could afford the Sony Alpha 1, it's probably what he'd get. That Sony Alpha 1 is a nice camera. I don't like the ergonomics of Sony cameras. I had an A7 II for about a year. And after about 6 months, I just got tired of that thing digging into my hand. The menus are a nightmare. They were for me. Nikon menus are pretty easy to read and work with, and Leica menus are the same way. They're not overly complicated, They're pretty easy to navigate, but man, them Sony menus are just, you need a degree in computer engineering just to work them menus. Or you own nothing but Sony cameras and you use them regularly so that you get familiar with them. If you use them regularly, you'll learn the menus, and if you don't have other products to confuse you, you know. Adrian says 24 is so good on DX and FX. I like 24. That 45mm would be a great street photography lens. $50 seems too narrow for you. Interesting. I run 50mm on a crop sensor because I like the 75mm field of view, but the compression of the 50. And that's what you get if you run that lens on a crop sensor. That's my preferred lens on the CL is the 50mm f1.4 Pentax. I got a little Pentax manual prime. I love that lens on the CL. I ran the Summicron, the older generation Summicron on it till I took it to Costa Rica and trashed it. But yeah. Woody Mallory says, trying to watch NASCAR, golf, and now David Sailors. You got too much going on, Woody. Wide angle on a truly full-frame camera is actually 20mm rather than 4.25mm on an iPhone. I suspect that has something to do with it. Yeah, but 20mm is pretty wide. You'll get some interesting distortion at 20mm. Phil says, I thought about trying street photography with a Z50 and a 24-70 2.8. Would be 36-105. It would actually work really good. That would be a great field of view for street, and it covers all the bases, like you said. 35-105 is a great focal length for that kind of stuff. Especially in Chattanooga, where the streets are real broad, they're real wide. And, you know, a lot of times you're shooting across the street because the action and the people are kind of sparse. So you just want and, you know, so I get that. That would be a good combination. Unboxing Wednesday. You bought too much gear in the recent memory, dude. But yeah, 24-70 on the Z50. Like, I've got that 24-70 f4 Z lens. That'd be a really good lens for that. And I may end up trying that and see how it goes. It's almost time to hang it up, guys. Dang, that 30 minutes went by fast. But guys, I really appreciate you. If you haven't hit the like button yet, I'd appreciate smacking that like button down. Don't hit it too hard because I don't want you to break it. That way you can hit it later on one of my videos. You know, if you go watch Peter McKinnon's channel and you smash that like button, you can only like one of his videos because you broke the like button. So, Kyle makes a good point. He says he suspects that little 24-50mm pancake Z lens would be good for street. And on the CL, or on the Z50, sorry, it would be 35-75. That's a great range. Yeah, that'd be a great lens for that. But yeah, it's been a good time. I appreciate you guys logging in. If you are interested in the channel, you know what to do. I've got tons of videos. Oh, for the 11 that are still in, I want to let you know our travel vlogs from the road trip with me and Aaron start coming out this Wednesday. And they'll run every Wednesday for the next 6 weeks. What just happened? Oh. Thank you, Adrian. Shout out to Adrian. That's 50 pesos, if I understand it right. Thank you for the donation. Man, you're awesome. I really appreciate that. And if you guys don't know Adrian, you need to go to ADVR on Instagram and follow him, because he has some amazing photography down there in Sonora, Mexico. It's impressive. I had his book right here, but I've now since moved him into the other room. But yeah, Adrian has. What do I do with this? Oh, what crap! I don't know what's happening here. I don't understand it, but it's still running. But anyway, he does some incredible photography. He's got a couple of neat videos that he's come out with recently. His videography is really cool. If you just haven't seen him, he's got one of a model that's like a montage of the photography shoot where he shot a model shoot one day, and then another one is like at the beach. Both of those videos are really interesting. If you haven't seen them, I think he's ADVR. What's your YouTube handle? I don't remember it. I think it's ADVR on YouTube, isn't it? Pretty sure it is. But yeah. Russell McWilliams just posted some wonderful photos on the Facebook page. I'll have to look that up. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Kyle. Ah, C2C Disciple made it. Thank you. Robbie Baxter says, I've heard Sony's menus are a nightmare. They are. At least it was on the A7 too. Yeah, Phil even mentions that the... Robbie says, I need to get to 24 prime. I've got the 24 to 50 zoom, and I really don't like it. Interesting. And I have them as well on my YouTube. Okay, yeah. Yeah, ADVR on YouTube, guys. Y'all need to go give him a subscribe on YouTube even. You know, link him up, hook him up. Because Adrian's cool. Like I said, I'm one of the few people that got his book. If you didn't get his book, you missed out because it's a cool book. Trinity zooms for the win. That's Phil. Yeah, I've got this Trinity zoom, the 75 to 150 f4 Pentax push pull. Look at that. And I don't think there's any zoom creep. This one's so old. Yeah, a little bit. This lens also weighs about 3 pounds. But guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'll let you guys go. I'm going to go eat supper with my best friend over here on about 2 roads down. He invited us over for supper. But, yeah, I really appreciate y'all watching along. So until next time, get your camera out and go take a picture with it. And Phil, I do want to go shoot street with your D800 and my D810. That's a thing. We just got to link up. See y'all later. See you later, Adrian. Bye-bye.